There is a mistake that millions of people make after a relationship ends. A mistake so devastating that the ancient oracles were already warning about it thousands of years ago. And if you make this mistake, the chances of getting your ex back drop to practically zero. It doesn't matter how much you love that person. It doesn't matter how many memories you shared. This single mistake can destroy any possibility of getting back together. And the scariest part, 90% of people make this mistake in the first 3 days after the breakup. They think they are fighting for the relationship, but in reality, they are digging a hole so deep they will never be able to climb out again. Before revealing what this fatal mistake is, you need to understand what is happening in your ex's mind at this exact moment. Because without this knowledge, you will commit the mistake without even realizing it. When your ex broke up with you, something very specific happened in his brain. It was not an impulsive decision. It was not something that came out of nowhere. For you, the breakup may have been a devastating surprise, a complete shock. But for your ex, this decision had been building for weeks, maybe months. While you were living the relationship normally, your ex was in a completely different mental process. Every small argument, every moment of distance, every time something didn't feel right, all of it was accumulating in his mind like drops filling a glass. And when that glass overflowed, the breakup came. This means that when your ex finally said the words that shattered your heart, he had already processed most of the pain. He had already emotionally prepared himself. He had already imagined life without you. He had already mentally rehearsed that conversation dozens of times. And here's the part that hurts the most. Right after breaking up with you, your ex feels relief. Yes, relief. Not because he doesn't care about you. Not because the relationship meant nothing. But because he finally did something he had been postponing. Something that was causing anxiety and emotional weight. It's like ripping off a Band-Aid. It hurts in the moment, but then comes the relief of having finished it. While you are completely shattered, feeling as if the ground has disappeared beneath your feet, your ex is breathing more easily. And this creates an extremely unbalanced power dynamic. Your ex is in the position of power. He made the decision. He is in control. And most importantly, he believes he can have you back at any moment. Just one phone call, one message, one gesture, and you would come running back. At least that's what he thinks. And you are in the position of weakness. You were rejected. You lost something precious. You feel that your value as a person has been questioned. And with every second that passes, you feel a desperate urgency to reverse the situation. It is exactly at this moment, in this emotionally vulnerable state, that 90% of people commit the fatal mistake. The mistake the oracle warned about. The mistake that makes coming back impossible. This mistake has a name. Desperate pursuit. You grab the phone and send messages. Can we talk? I miss you. Please give me another chance. You call, even knowing he won't answer. You show up at places you know he frequents. You post on social media, hoping he will see it. You ask mutual friends to intervene. Each of these actions seems reasonable in your mind. You are fighting for the relationship. You are showing that you care. You are trying to fix things. But in your ex's mind, every message, every call, every attempt at contact is doing the exact opposite of what you imagine. Every time you reach out, you confirm to your ex that he is right, that he is in control, that you are the lesser prize, that he can have you back whenever he wants. And if he can have you back whenever he wants, why would he come back now? Think about it this way. Do you value something that is always available? Do you feel urgency to take something you know will be there tomorrow, next week, next month? Of course not. We human beings only truly value what we can lose. What is scarce, what is not guaranteed. When you chase your ex, you completely remove scarcity from the equation. You become too abundant, too available, too predictable. And nothing kills attraction faster than predictability and excessive availability. But there is something even worse. Something that turns this mistake from serious into absolutely fatal. Every time you reach out and your ex doesn't respond the way you want, or responds coldly, or worse, doesn't respond at all, you create a new negative memory. A new association in his mind between you and uncomfortable feelings. Before, when your ex thought of you, he remembered the good times, the laughter, the connection, the love. But now, every desperate message replaces those memories with something different. Now, when he thinks of you, he feels pressure, guilt, discomfort, irritation. You are literally reprogramming your ex's brain to associate you with negative emotions. And once that association is established, it is extremely difficult to reverse. The ancient oracles understood this. They knew that the energy of pursuit repels, that desperation pushes away, that need kills desire. They advised the opposite: strategic withdrawal, powerful silence, magnetic absence. And modern science confirms what the oracles knew intuitively. There is a psychological principle called reactance. When we feel our freedom is being threatened, when someone is trying to pressure or control us, our brain automatically resists. We want the opposite of what is being forced upon us. Every message you send is perceived by your ex's brain as an attempt at control, as a threat to his freedom. And the more you push, the more his brain pulls away. It is an automatic, unconscious reaction, impossible to control. But here is the twist that changes everything. The same principle works in reverse. When you stop chasing, when you disappear, when you remove your presence, something fascinating happens in your ex's mind. First comes surprise. Your ex expected you to keep trying. He was counting on it. He had built an entire mental narrative in which you were the desperate pursuer and he was the unattainable prize. And suddenly, that narrative collapses. After the surprise comes curiosity. Why isn't he reaching out anymore? What's going on? Has he already moved on? Did he meet someone else? Curiosity is one of the most powerful emotions that exist. Once activated, it is almost impossible to ignore. It's like a mental itch that needs to be scratched. And the longer it goes without an answer, the more intense that curiosity becomes. And here is the secret that very few people understand. Curiosity is the first stage of attraction. You cannot jump straight to attraction. You must first create curiosity. And the only way to create curiosity is through absence. But the transformation doesn't stop at curiosity. If you maintain the absence, if you resist the temptation to break the silence, your ex enters the third stage, doubt. He begins to question the decision he made. Was I too quick? Did I throw away something valuable? Did I make a mistake? Remember, when your ex broke up with you, he didn't feel loss. He felt relief. Because in his mind, he hadn't lost you. You were still there, available, accessible. He could have you back with a snap of his fingers. But now, for the first time, he is experiencing something different. He is experiencing the real possibility of loss. And losing something you once had is infinitely more painful than never having had it. There is a gigantic difference between never having something and losing something. If you never win the lottery, you don't feel the pain of loss. But if you win and then lose everything, the pain is unbearable, because you know exactly what you are losing. Your ex knows what he is losing. He had you. He knows your smile, your touch, your presence. And now, for the first time, he is facing the real possibility that this may be gone forever. And it is at this moment that the fourth stage appears. Fear. Fear of having made an irreversible mistake. Fear that you have moved on. Fear that someone else is taking the place that used to be his. Fear that he threw away the right person. This fear is what finally balances the power scale. Remember when your ex was in the position of power and you were in the position of weakness. Now the tables have turned. Now he is feeling the same urgency, the same anxiety, the same pain that you felt when he broke up. And frequently, it is at this stage that your ex reaches out, a casual message. Hey, how are you? Was thinking about you. Can we talk? But attention. This message is a test. Your ex is not ready to come back. He is testing the waters. He wants to know if you are still there, waiting, available. He wants to regain that feeling of control, that certainty that he can have you whenever he wants. And here is where most people make the second fatal mistake. They respond immediately with enthusiasm. Yes, of course we can talk. I was thinking about you too. When can we meet? And with that response, all progress is instantly destroyed. You go back to the position of weakness. Your ex goes back to the position of power. The curiosity disappears. The doubt evaporates. The fear dissolves. And you are back at square one, or worse. The correct response to this test message is calm, casual, not urgent. Hey, I'm good. It's been an interesting week. And then you don't become available for a long conversation. You don't open up completely. You maintain a bit of mystery, a bit of distance. This keeps curiosity alive. This keeps doubt active. This keeps fear present. And these three elements together are what can eventually lead to renewed attraction. But let's go back to the original mistake. Why does desperate pursuit make coming back impossible? Because once you have established the pattern of desperate pursuer, it is almost impossible to change your ex's perception. He has already categorized you. He has already placed you in a mental box. And changing that categorization is extremely difficult. In addition, every attempt at contact you made created a layer of resistance in his brain. It's like building a wall, brick by brick. Every message is a brick. Every call is a brick. And eventually the wall becomes so high that you can no longer climb it. There is also the dignity factor. When you desperately chase, you lose dignity in your ex's eyes. And it is very difficult to feel attraction for someone you see as having lost dignity. Attraction requires respect, and respect requires boundaries. So what should you do if you have already made this mistake? If you have already sent the desperate messages? If you have already chased? First, you need to stop immediately, no matter how hard it is. No matter how many excuses your mind invents for just one more message, you need to stop completely. Second, you need to give time. Time for the negative memories you created to begin to fade. Time for your ex to start remembering the good moments again. Time for curiosity to replace irritation. How much time? There is no exact answer, but generally, the more you chased, the more time you need of absence. If you sent messages for a week, you need at least 3 weeks of total silence. If you chased for a month, you need at least 2 months. Third, you need to use this time to work on yourself, not just to win your ex back, but to become a stronger, more complete, more attractive person. Because even if you manage to get your ex's attention back, if you are still the same person, with the same patterns, the same problems, the relationship will end again. And here is something few people talk about, but which is absolutely crucial. You need to be genuinely prepared for the possibility that your ex will not come back. Because if all your happiness, all your worth, all your peace of mind depends on getting that person back, you will never have the right energy. The energy that attracts is the energy of someone who is okay, someone who is moving forward, someone who would be great to have back, but who does not need to be reconquered. It is a paradox. You can only get someone back when you genuinely no longer need to get them back. The ancient oracles called this detachment. It is not indifference. It is not pretending you don't care. It is genuinely reaching a point where you are okay either way, where you want your ex back, but you don't need him back to be happy. And ironically, it is exactly this mental state that creates the greatest possible attraction. Because when you don't need someone, when you are complete on your own, you become infinitely more attractive than when you are desperate and needy. So, summing it all up, the fatal mistake the oracle warned about is desperate pursuit. It is reaching out repeatedly. It is begging, pleading, trying to convince. It is showing that you are completely available, completely accessible, completely under your ex's control. This mistake destroys curiosity, eliminates doubt, removes fear. And without these three elements, there is no path back to attraction. The solution is the opposite: strategic absence, powerful silence, dignified withdrawal, giving your ex the space to miss you, to question the decision, to experience the real possibility of loss. And while you give that space, you work on yourself. You become stronger, more confident, more complete. You build a life that is good with or without your ex. Because in the end, there are only two possible outcomes. Either your ex comes back, attracted by the new version of you, by the curiosity, by the doubt, by the fear of having lost something precious. Or your ex does not come back, and you discover that you have built a life so good that you no longer need him to be happy. And in both cases, you win. But if you commit the fatal mistake, if you desperately chase, you guarantee the worst possible outcome. Your ex does not come back, and you remain trapped in a cycle of pain, rejection, and loss of dignity that can last months or even years. The oracle warned. Now you know. The choice is yours. You can continue chasing and make coming back impossible. Or you can withdraw, create space, work on yourself, and give attraction the only chance it has to be reborn. The power has always been in your hands. You just didn't know how to use it. Now you do.